the GED the last 2 days, and that's huge. I mean, that's a really big thing to take that, and will just help open more doors for that individual. And so working on education, making sure that folks are reaching employment goals, but also other goals. And that's, I think, what's unique about this program is we are ultimately focused on employment, but also realize that we need to support the whole person.
Sure. Our guests today on Encounter are Katie Blaine, who is the work advocate for the Broome County Council of Churches, and Jack Seman, who is the CHOW program manager. See, that went so much more smoothly here in the mid part of the program. So how's it working out on your end in the warehouse?
Great. We're happy to have the extra help in the warehouse.
What are the challenges in this for you?
There's always a learning curve when it comes to new people in the warehouse, which is to be expected.
Yeah.
But in this 5 weeks, I've been really impressed with the way things have gone. I think people are more than happy to be there. They're grateful to be there. And it's incredible to be a part of, essentially changing someone's life,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's been great.
And I guess when I think about gender, I think warehouse guys, but this is men and women working together. Yeah.
Yes, and it really, I mean, yes, it's the CHOW warehouse, Broome County warehouse, but it extends beyond that. I mean, customer service is a huge thing. There's so many transferable skills that individuals are picking up through their time with CHOW, and working with, say, the CHOW markets, for instance, and just interacting with folks that oftentimes are peers of our participants, and I think that's a really great thing for communities to see as well, is to see their friends and neighbors in a position where they're working and able to really serve the community. And the other thing is, I think that what I'm really starting to see now that participants have been with the program for a few weeks now, is that they really understand how important CHOW is to the community, and what a good service that it provides, and just how important it is to have access to food and healthy food as well.
Yes, right. The renovations of the warehouse and the development of the job training program, where did the funding come from for these two programs?
So the funding for the warehouse renovation came from a number of individual donors and foundations. And then the funding for the job training program actually came from a grant through the Department of Social Services.
Okay. And that grant will run out at some point?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that just through discussions, and this is obviously a very early program, pilot program, I do believe it's something that will be in place in the future. And we've already been having discussions with Department of Social Services about how can we improve and enhance the program for the participants. So we're really taking a participant-driven approach where getting feedback from them, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and making adjustments as we go. So really taking a learning approach, which I think is important.
Yeah, yeah. The renovations of the warehouse are kind of permanent. So once that's done, it's done until the next need for renovation comes.
Yep.
But the job training program, working on grants, that has to be renewed, or things like the CHOW Walk will help fund some of these continuing programs. I would think.
Yeah.
So there's always an opportunity for folks to share in the supportive programs like CHOW and the Broome County Council of Churches. You can do that through your local community of faith or directly through the Broome County Council of Churches website, which I think you can find easily on Google. Yeah. Now, what kind of training do you have for the work that you do?
So before I worked at CHOW, I worked at the Center for Employment Opportunities and ran so Center for Employment Opportunities is a national nonprofit organization, and I worked there for 4.5 years, and It's an organization dedicated to providing immediate, effective, and comprehensive employment services for men and women with recent criminal convictions.
Yeah.
So I ran the Binghamton office and the state office building. Unfortunately, our office did need to close due to funding, and we had a janitorial maintenance contract with the Office of General Services, so we paid folks to work for us every day, and concurrent to that, we had job coaching and job development, and did place people in jobs throughout the community. Gosh, we had over close to 250 job placements in the 4.5 years that I was with CEO, and we also offered retention services. So I have a lot of experience with employment and employment training and working with a marginalized population. And I was specifically then, we received referrals from New York State Parole, and we're working with them. So everyone in the program did have a felony conviction. And those are folks that are similar in a lot of ways to the population we're working with now, many times living in poverty, minorities, low level of education, just low level of opportunities. And I think it's so important to help give people an opportunity for upward mobility, and especially those that have very little opportunities, and that it's sometimes very difficult to find employment. I think that it's really easy to say, why don't you just find a job? It's not that easy.
Right.
And it can be very difficult. So when I had heard about the opportunity at the Council of Churches, I was very excited. I was very passionate. I'm very passionate about this work and really believe strongly in the power of work to change lives. And I've heard it for the last 5 years from individuals, just how employment has made a difference in their life and the lives of their children and their family and the community. So I am happy to be at CHOW and have the opportunity to, in a different capacity, to continue that work. And
Jack, you see these folks and work side by side with them firsthand. You must see then the sense of satisfaction that they have when they've begun and as they kind of work now toward the end of that program.
Definitely. I think I started at CHOW about 4 years ago as a volunteer, and just volunteering in the warehouse, volunteering on the trucks in the bounty program. I fell in love with the program, and I think it's a really easy program to fall in love with because of what we do. It's just a great thing, and it's great to be a part of. So to see the job training participants also recognize what we do in the community and to feel a part of that, I think is so important. I think to feel a part of something can really make all the difference in someone's life.
You get a real sense of satisfaction in both of you, as well as everybody who works with CHOW through the other volunteer programs of the Broome County Council of Churches.
Yeah, and I think, Jack has such a great point with just feeling a part of something bigger than you, and I think often that's just something so important to well-being, but I think on another point too is that
you don't really have time for another point. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's time to say goodbye. Our guests today have been Jack Seman, the CHOW program manager at CHOW, and Katie Blaine, the work advocate. And I'm Jeff Kellam. We'll do another program where you can share that other
Part
thing.
2.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us for this program about the Broome County Council of Churches and its CHOW warehouse. I'm Jeff Kellam, hoping that in the coming week you will be gentle with people and with yourself.